So the Asobi coin architecture can be thought of as containing three major parts. We have the Asobi coin and the Asobi assets that are linked to it. Those are smart contracts. Now for smart contracts, we're using Ethereum. For developing those smart contracts, we're using a programming language called Solidity. With Solidity, we can easily enhance and modify open source contracts like OpenZeppelin that a lot of projects are using quite successfully. And then we can deploy them on the blockchain using a tool called Truffle. And then once you have those smart contracts deployed, the user has to interact with them somehow. So for that, we're currently creating a front end for a prototype that I'd also be very happy to discuss with you. For this prototype, we're actually having a really nice approach there. It's a combination of Vue.js, Vuex, and Web3. Now Web3 is really important because let's say you're creating some JavaScript frontend here. You need a way to interact with the smart contracts, right? So with Web3, what we're doing here is we're using the smart contract information that is generated during the Truffle compilation step. And we use that to tell the front end how it can interact with the blockchain. Now then we also have a little bit of stuff going on in the back end for our prototype development right now. So for example, if we want to tell a client what contract addresses to use, maybe what wallet addresses to use, what we do there is we have a really lean backend server running using Meteor and MongoDB. So it's pretty simple. So what we're currently investigating is how to place player inventory on the blockchain. So what do I mean by player inventory? Let's say you're playing an MMORPG, online role-playing game, where you fight very hard to get the best loot, the rarest loot, the best potions, the most effective armor, and depending on the game, there are many different desirable things there. We're thinking about how to place all that on the blockchain. Now, why place it on the blockchain? I think what we're looking to create here is a system that can give players a true sense of ownership of everything that they earn in their games. And in this prototype, what we're exploring is, given that a player has those items, how can the player interact with them? Now, one of the few scenarios that we're currently trying out in our company is giving our testers items that they can then place on an open market. And then on this open market, other players can buy this item from them using the Asobi coin that we're using internally. And what they can also do is they can swap items with friends. So we have a really nice user interface for that. And that user interface allows players to really just drag and drop one item to their friend's inventory, and the transaction happens almost automatically. And that's pretty cool. We're currently trying to find out what other use cases we can implement effectively on the blockchain. And what almost always comes up is how to make those transactions more secure, how to give the players the feeling that they're not being cheated. And finally, this is where using blockchains, and especially Ethereum, really shines, is that things can happen in so-called atomic transactions. And in an atomic transaction, what happens is that, for example, if two players are swapping two items, player A wants to give player B a rare potion, player B wants to give player A a sword in exchange, we can guarantee that none of the two players here can suddenly withdraw what they're offering, but the transaction, since it happens in one step on the blockchain, it will finish in one step, and then it can't be taken back. So both players get a really high sense of confidence in the trade that they're doing with someone else, and it could be a complete stranger online as well.